Sweet. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to our personal website workshop hosted by IEEE and TSE. My name is Drew. I'm from TSE. I'm joined by William in IEEE. And into this week's session, we're going to finally be putting together everything we've learned uh, in week 1 and week 2 in order to make our personal website and finally deploy it. Cool stuff. So just as an introduction to what we're going to be using and the sort of tools we're going to be using and the differences between them. We talked about this a bit before. So uh, Git is, we're not going to go too in depth into Git. What you just need to understand is that it's a version control system. So it's a way of tracking your files and a way of managing different versions of the files you create. And it's used by programmers a lot. GitHub is just a way that provides hosting for a bunch of development projects and code bases, including websites, which brings us into GitHub Pages, which is what we'll be using to host our website, what we'll be using to host our personal website. So GitHub Pages is a really powerful hosting service that is made by GitHub, that is created by GitHub itself, that basically uses your own GitHub account. And there's a number of reasons why we like using it. It's fast, it's free, it creates an easy and memorable it creates an easy and memorable name for your website. It's easy to update and maintain with live changes, and also who does love free stuff. So if you don't have a GitHub account already, make sure you get on that real quick. Pretty much an essential for being a programmer. And I guess if you have taken 15L at this point, you would have a GitHub account, but if not, get on that. So once you're on GitHub, if you see the main page in the top right corner, just right next to your avatar, you should see a little plus sign, and you should go to new repository. Also, at any point, if anyone has any questions or is stuck at any point, feel free to either unmute yourself or write something in the chat, either to me or William or just to everyone. So you're going to go ahead and create a new repository. And once you're setting the name of your repository, this step is important. Make sure that your repository is in the format username.github.io, where username is your actual GitHub username. So for example, my GitHub username, dhrvswood, and that's the exact format I've used, dhrvswood.github.io. Make sure it's public as well. Once you do that, you should be able to set up your website, and you should be able to see that your the repository for your website has been created. And just to ensure that this is actually a GitHub Pages website, you can navigate to the settings on the right side, towards the right side of your repository. And if you scroll a bit down, make sure that you can see something like this, which just says that your site is ready to be published at whatever name you've picked. So has everyone made it to that step? Can I get a thumbs up either in the chat or you can use the reaction just to make sure everyone's on the same page. We'll wait a bit just to let the new people get in as well. All right, cool. So if no one has any questions, or I'm guessing everyone's at the stage, we can move on to the next step, which is going to be utilizing the starter code for this website. So we're going to be building off something that William's already created, and it's just a little boilerplate code, something to help make our personal website a bit easier to function, just because it's been created by React. It has all the dependencies installed. It has all the features that we want installed. So William's going to leave a link to that real quick in the chat. So make sure you go there, and you should see this page on your screen. Oh shoot. Cool. All right. So William just left the link in the chat. Once you go there, you can click on the green code button, and once you click on that, you can navigate to this clone section. Clicking on this icon will copy this to your clipboard, and there's an important link that we're going to be using alongside Git to actually clone this repository, which basically means creating a local version of the code which is on GitHub on our machine, so we can work off of it locally. Cool. So once we're at this stage and we've installed, we have Git installed, we've copied our little cloning repository code. We can navigate to the directory where we want to be working. This is in terminal, and you want to be typing the command git clone, and then the link you just copied. You can copy paste codes just by right clicking on terminal, I believe. And once you do that, it should take some time. A couple commands should run, but afterwards you should get a success. And then typing in code personal website starter, which is just the name of the repository that was mentioned earlier, and code just runs it in Visual Studio Code. Cool. So once you run Visual Studio code and starter code, this is what should pop up. You should have all your files on the left, the files that you're working on over here, as well as a little tab to show all the different files that are present. And you should have a terminal as well. And this is where we're going to be running the majority of our Git commands. This is where we're going to be this is where well, yeah, we're going to be running all our Git commands and basically using this to interact with GitHub. So after we do this, the next step we want to do is to navigate to GitHub and go to the repository that you've just created, which is your username.github.io repository. For those of you who just joined, basically what we've done is make our own repository that has this specific naming format, and we've cloned a repository that is the starter code. Once you do that, it's the exact same step as before. You go to the green code button, and you should see clone. Basically, you copy that link, and what we're going to do is use a new command called git remote add origin, and the link you just copied. And what this just does is make sure that our computer has set the origin of where we want to push and fetch from as this repository. So whenever you make changes on your computer, whenever you make changes on your local machine, this is going to be updated directly to GitHub if you push those specific changes. To check that you've done everything right, you can type git remote -v, and you should get these two outputs in your terminal. I'm doing this in my Visual Studio Code terminal. Obviously, it should say your username.github.io, but yep, that you should get that. And if that doesn't work, you might want to try typing git remote remove origin, and then typing the remote add origin with the link you just copied again. Cool. All right. Does anyone have any questions so far? Or anything you're stuck on, anything that's installing, anything that you're not able to get?
Yeah, you can type in chat or you can unmute. Either is fine.
I hope that means everyone's got it then. All right, sweet. That's pretty good. Uh, so that's the end of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be passing it on to William, who's going to be showing you a live demo, and he's going to be going through the process of cloning and setting the remote origin. If you didn't catch that earlier, and William's just going to be live coding the website alongside you. So just follow along, soak up as much knowledge as you can, and yeah.
All right, so let's you can just share the whole screen. Okay, cool. All right, so hello, we'll be starting now. I've already just created a repository, but I've done nothing with it yet. So this is all we have right now, and I've set up the command line. I'm using git bash. If you're using Windows, you'll probably have to use git bash because there aren't many other useful command lines. So yeah, and just a quick preview of what we'll make. It might be something like this. It's probably not going to be the exact same thing, but it's going to probably look like something like this. This is hosted locally, so it's not actually on GitHub pages, but yeah, this is just a demo of what it'll look like. And so with that said, let's kind of begin, I guess. So first things, we've already made the repo, and now we want to clone it. So I'll just copy this link, and I'll just say git clone, and then paste. Oh wait, sorry, wrong one. Oops. So if you're cloning just the starter code, that's personal website starter. So I'm just going to clone that, and then code personal website starter, which is just going to open that folder in VS Code, which is the editor I'm using. I don't need this anymore because VS Code has its own terminal. And something I'm just going to do because there are images and I want to hunt for images. I brought all my images. I prepared some images in the first place, so I'm just going to put them inside this folder called assets. That's all it's doing. And just like that, I put a bunch of images there. You can fill in what images you want to do for those as we go along, but this is just like, so I don't have to spend all the time looking for images later on. So yeah, and so first thing first, I'm going to open a terminal here. And so first thing we want to set the origin, right? So since we've cloned it from something, we can actually, if we tried to, we could add it, or we could also, in this case, because I know I'm just going to be targeting that specific one, I'm just going to do set URL origin, and then we can paste in. So that's just going to switch our origin to that. And I believe GitHub pages, you have to have your like official GitHub pages branch on master. So we're actually just going to switch to a branch called main, I think, right? Or not? Oh, git switch dash c main. So that's just going to create a new branch called main, and we're just going to be working on this. And so this is just the basic setup. And like, if anyone ever has questions, put it in the chat or something. That's fine. Or if I'm going too fast, you can just ask me to slow down. And yeah. So yeah. So now let's just first look at the starter code. So basically, like, how do we even get to the starter code in the first place? Well, this starter code is mostly just create React app. So if you don't know what that is, create React app is just a very popular, I guess, application to kind of bootstrap a basic React app. The major differences between this and the default created from Create React app is I basically consolidated the index and app into this single file. So I need to move this zoom bar out of the way. Sorry. I don't know where it's convenient. But anyway, yeah. So basically, this is like the root of our app. And basically what React will do is it's going to render this inside document.getElement by ID root. So it's going to basically put all this stuff inside root. Where is root? Well, we have the index.html inside the public file. And so what we can see here is, there we go. We have our div ID root. So basically everything's just going to be put in here. That's all React is going to do. What else do we have? We have one of the differences is jsconfig.json. Basically, all this is doing is, let's just do absolute imports. So Otherwise, we'd have to do relative imports all the time, and that can be annoying when we have a rather deep directory structure. Aside from that, we have I guess I have a vestige random PDF inside here for a resume. So it's a sample resume because I don't want to share my own. That's just like a generic resume template, I believe. And so that's one of the assets we have. We also have a folder called components. This is typically where you'll put anything that's reusable. So if you have like some special custom button that your entire website uses, you might make like a button component, which we might actually do. I've also provided one component. It's called text loop, and it's basically uses a library called type.js, and this is basically just a wrapper so we can use it like a React component. Honestly, it's kind of ugly, but it does the job. And we could probably there's probably several libraries out there that provide a React text loop out of the box, but we have this, so there it is. We've also got a pages folder, and what this is basically if we go back to your index.js, we have this switch and route. So basically, if we want to have more than one page, so if like our base path, which is just the slash, we're going to render the page, which is just like username.github.io. But maybe if you want to host like a blog, you could have route exact path equals /blog, and then component equals blog, and then you make like a blog in here. And basically you just like import it from pages. So this is basically just helping us have a clear idea of what our file structure looks like. So in general, we're just going to put our pages in here. We're going to put our components inside components, and we're going to put any images or whatever inside assets. So now that we've got a decent enough idea of how the file the file system is structured, I guess. Oh yeah, I guess we still need to visit styles, but yeah. So styles is basically how the CSS. These styles in particular are going to be like the global styles. So the CSS is also using Sass, which is basically a CSS preprocessor. We're not going to be doing anything especially fancy that's unique to Sass. The most thing we're going to do is working with variables. So in CSS, you can use variables, but the syntax is kind of ugly. So in Sass, we can just use like the $ in our variable name, and then we can use variables like that. And then the other thing is nested selectors. So like in CSS, let's say you have like one section, and you've got like a whole bunch of like smaller sections inside it. You have to separately select for them. Inside Sass, you can do something like, say you have a selector, and then you want to say .item. So this is basically saying this is an item. This is an item inside a header, which you can't do in CSS. With CSS, you'd have to say like .header, and then you have your stuff, whatever for the header, and then you just have to do like .header.item, which can be annoying. So yeah, that's our general file structure. If you're wondering why we have so many different styles, index is kind of like the base, and this is basically what Create React App default does. Reset is just a utility CSS file. This is like a public domain file, which basically tries to minimize any possible differences because between browsers, because different browsers may have different ways of different default styles for certain tags. And then typography is I don't want to like be writing like the same like font size, font weight every time. So I've just defined a few styles here. So if I want to say like a heading 1, I am just as long as it's heading 1, I'm just going to automatically assume it's going to be 3 rem and 700 font weight. And speaking of which, the rem is defined here, I think. Oh, it isn't. We could probably put that in whatever. So yeah, let's just get started then, since now that we have an idea of what we're going to do. First thing first, let's try to run this thing. So I don't like how Zoom's always in the way. So first, we want to install the dependencies. So you have to write an npm install. I probably should ask for this and then talk while we're waiting, but oh well. This basically just installs all the dependencies. They're basically listed out in package.lock.json. It's like it's kind of a massive file. Yeah. And basically just want to install all the stuff in there. It's pretty heavy. And once this finishes, we'll be running npm start. npm start basically actually launches our web page, so we'll be able to see it here, like in a new tab. I'm currently using localhost 3000, so it'll probably be like on localhost 3001 or something. But you don't need to worry about like manually setting that. They'll automatically take care of it for you. So in the meantime, let's see what we have right now. So all it's going to render is what's at home. And so if you look at home, what we're expecting it to render is just a hello world, which is not very interesting. So I'll just wait a bit. And I guess in the meantime, then let's go to the first thing, which is I want some interesting fonts, because I think it's boring if you're just going to use a regular font all the time. So I personally like sans serif fonts, and I know one that I enjoy is Unito. But if you want to look around, you can go to fonts.google.com, I believe it is. And yeah, so right, you can get Roboto, for example. I think that's a fairly popular one. Google Fonts is basically, you can get a bunch of free fonts here. Oh, chat. Oh, okay, yeah. And so in this case, I know what I want. It's Nunito. I personally just like it. So I'm just going to go here. Let's just say I want regular Nunito. I'm just going to click select the style. Let's say I want semi-bold and bold. And I'm just going to work with those two. So generally, you don't want to, if you can, you want to minimize how many you take. So like, don't take more than you need, because the more you take, that's more time that's spent loading your web page, which isn't as good. So I'm just going to copy this. I think it's this one. I don't like how Zoom stuff's in the way. Yeah. So I'm just going to take this, copy it, and then back in my index.html. Zoom. Where did I put this? Okay. In my index.html, I'm just going to, like, I don't know, put it over here. Basically, we're just going to be putting it in the head. And I think that looks right. And so this basically adds Nunito so that we can use it inside our CSS. And so likewise, in the meantime, then I'm just going to go to my styles index, and let's just say I want my entire website to be themed Nunito. Basically, I'm just going to first say if you can do Nunito. Or actually, so this is like a good default. It's like probably the most web safe. But let's just say I'm just going to actually want my font family to be either Nunito, or otherwise I'm just going to default to sans serif. And so this is basically just going to, since this is the body selector, it's going to mean that basically all the text is going to be Nunito unless specified otherwise. You might not necessarily want this, but in this case, I'm just going to deal with I'm just going to prefer running Nunito for the whole thing. And yeah, now that we've done that, and this thing is finished, I can run npm start. And oh, yeah. And so yeah, it's on localhost 3001. By default, it's 3000, but I've used that for the sample, so it's going to be running on 3001. And once it loads, we should see a hello world, and it should be in Nunito. And we don't need you anymore, I don't think. Okay, yes. It may not be clear that that's Nunito. Let's try. What happened? Did I do something? Oh no. Oh, I zoomed in. Okay. Yeah, so that's a hello world. May not be clear to Nunito, but like, let's say we comment this out. Speaking of which, that's another useful thing to Sass. You can just use the / comments, which CSS doesn't. We can, I don't know how clear it is, but we can see like a difference between Nunito and the default. So like if we switch back, I don't know. I think there's a clear enough difference. It might not be the best on the most visible on the screen though. So yeah, well, now that we got that, let's kind of get started. So first thing, let's try to make sure that we get like something that looks decently interesting. So to start that off, we're just going to we're going to like think of our website as like multiple sections. And so the start is going to be like the splash page or something. So let's just say we're going to take probably template here. Yeah, we're going to take template here. It's basically just going to be how we're going to organize our file structure, as you might have observed, is basically with every single thing, we're going to have the name of it as a file, and then inside of it, there's going to be an index.jsx and an index.scss file. And the JSX is basically JavaScript with React, and then the SCSS is the styles. So basically, we're going to have the styles associated with that specific component or part of our greater application. And they're going to be nested underneath a folder named of whatever it actually is. So in this case, I'm just going to paste it. I'm going to say rename this splash. And the splash is going to be like the top of the screen, right? And then we're going to rename this. So Control H, template, splash. And so this is just our general splash page and what we're going to do in here. So let's see. Well, let's say we're going to say, I don't know. Let's just first think of what we want. So in any case, I know what I want is, so I'm just, let's just say first add my name. And we're going to make sure it renders. So we're going to import splash here. Let's say splash. Okay, cool. So we got something now. Let's say goodbye to hello world. Okay. And what else do we want on our splash page? Well, let's just say I brought the text loop for a reason. So I don't know, equals text loop. And then text loop. And we're going to say strings equals something. And we're going to fill this out really quick. And actually, I'm just going to, let's just say I'm going to break this down into smaller things. You don't necessarily have to do this. This is just personal preference. There's no like one true right way to do stuff necessarily all the time. So yeah, with this, basically with this text loop component, we can just pass in an array of strings and it'll loop through them. In this case, let's just go through the generic one that every single college student seems to have on their personal website. So I'm going to say const strings, which is our array of things we're going to loop over. And let's just say student, leader, innovator, I don't know, developer, thinker, dreamer, I don't know, something like that. And we're going to basically put it in here. Oh, equal sign. Good job, me. And let's see how that renders. Oh, yay, nice. So yeah, the text loop basically just helps us do this. I try to minimize the number of libraries we're using, but honestly, like making a text loop from scratch is kind of annoying. And text loops seem to be like a staple of every single college student's website. So here we are. Yeah, so now we've got a text loop. What else do I want? Well, I want to make sure that recruiters, if they want to visit my website, they see a nice big resume. So we're going to make a resume div here. And let's say I want this to look like a button. Well, in any case, I have plans to maybe reuse this button. So we're going to kind of stop here and then start working on a button component. So because I want to reuse this. So I'm just going to copy this template here and create a new, paste it into components. So I'm just going to rename this component, this to button. And then template, place it with button. Oh, there we go. And so let's just first build this button. And then we'll go back to our splash page. Well, what's the button going to do? Well, I want this button to be like a button with a link, basically. And so how am I going to do this? Well, we're going to pass in some props because we want to specify like what's going to be in this button, right? And because we're going to try to make it kind of similar to the syntax of like a regular button tag, in this case, I'm just going to separate the children, which is basically anything enclosed. So like, basically what this is doing is children is going to be the direct children. So if like I had like button, and then I had like stuff here, this is children. Like whatever's in here is the children passed in. And then everything else is I'm going to basically assign it to button props, which is basically saying button props is some variable. I'm going to destructure it, and which is basically everything else. And that's going to go into button props from props. So anyway, now that we've got that, we've got class name equals button name. So we're going to, in this case, button's kind of different. We want to make it a link, and then like we don't really need to make it a div. So we're just going to make it a link, and we're going to like pass in the children. And basically we're going to say, I don't know. First thing is, where is this link button going to? Generally, that's with an href tag for like an A. So we're going to make it href, and we're going to say the props is href. And then we're going to put in whatever else there is. In this case, and also general good practice for links, do this. I won't go too much into it, but basically, this reduces or removes the chance of external code execution or whatever, and it also makes it so that the website that you've sent them to doesn't know where it came from. So yeah, this is just a button, and the bigger part, I guess, in this case is we want this button to look some certain way because I want to reuse this button. I want it to look the same every time. So how am I going to do this? Well, first, let's just say it's a lowercase button because it's a reusable button. And so I'm going to select for the button, and first, I guess let's look or check out what it looks like right now. So we can import the button here. Button. Leave it empty for now. Or I guess, yeah, just leave it for empty for now. What does it look like? Okay, we don't see anything. Great. And so let's, I guess let's just first, let's say actually, back in our splash, say, download resume. Download resume. Oh, well. And so we've got this. Now we want to format it and make it look pretty. So how are we going to do that? First, let's see. Let's go with, let's add some padding first, and then say to rem. And probably the more important thing, let's add some background color. We're going to assign it to black. So basically in our variables, I defined a white, black, and gray already. That's just so we can like use the same white, black, and gray every time. And then we're going to say the font color is going to be white. How does it look like now? Okay. So now we've got like some semblance of a button, at least, I guess. Right. I guess. I don't know. Let's make it larger. And make it a bit thicker. I don't know, something like this. Okay. Although that's looking kind of big, but oh well. Cool. So where do you want to go from here? Well, perhaps I want to say, I want to make this button brown because I'm using a round font and everything. I like round stuff. So, or like a more softer tone, I guess. And we can do this by doing like border radius. Actually, I'll put it up here. Border radius. In this case, I don't actually know how tall it is. It's probably going to be like 4M, but I'm just going to make it some really large number because basically it can never go over 50%. So this is just going to make it 50% of the shorter side. Unfortunately, if you just do 50%, it's going to do 50% of each of the sides. So that's why we're doing this. This is just like a little hack. This is looking a bit big. So let's tone this down a bit, I guess. I don't know. Let's stick with that for now. Yeah. Cool. What else are we going to do? Let's say when we hover over it. So, and hover, opacity, I don't know, 0.8. So this is just kind of some like, they get some feedback. Cool. and we don't know it's clickable. So let's make it a cursor pointer, which is basically going to say when you hover over it, it's going to change to that pointer. So it looks like you can click on it. As of the moment, it doesn't click. It doesn't actually go to anywhere though. So let's go back to our splash page. We need to remember, or we need to add that href, right? In this case, what is it going to be? Let's see. Let's say it is going to download our assets. So in this case, we want to download the resume when you click on it. So I don't know. I think it's assets resume.pdf should work. And we want to say download. Let's see if that works. Okay. Oh, or not. It might have to be relative. I don't remember. Something I didn't know, so I don't like the underline. So we're going to go back to our button styles. I'm going to add a text decoration on here. And that should, because that's like a default styling. And yeah, so that's progress. Going back to our splash page. Let's see. Where am I? Okay, yes. So in general, something I tend to prefer is I actually like to just directly import them first, or my assets first. So I'm just going to say import resume from assets resume.pdf. And this should probably allow me to do that absolute import. So in this case, it'll be resume. And let's try this now. Okay, yeah, there we go. So we downloaded this. And yeah, this is just like a star. I think this is like from like Awesome CB. It's like a popular resume template on GitHub. It's got like a couple thousand stars, so it's pretty popular. We do notice like this resume name though, right? It's kind of ugly. I want to do something else with it. Well, conveniently, that's why we have our button props here, because with the A tag, if you do specify download, you can also specify how it's going to be. You can specify how it's going to be downloaded. So in this case, you can just add the download equals to specify what you want it to be called. So let's just say first last resume.pdf. I don't know, something like that. And this time, if I download it, it's download as first last resume. Excellent. So we got a name. We got like something over here. Oh, it's hidden, and we've got our button. So, well, it looks like we have an issue with the text loop and our button kind of overlapping in it. So how can we fix that? Let's see. What do we have here? So this is an A tag and the resume text loop. I think we can, let's see. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, small mistakes. So now we got that fixed. We've got like this general thing, but once again, this is still relatively unstyled, right? We want to do something with this. Well, so let's go from there. We've got our button now. We've got our, so let's style our splash page, I guess. So got splash. What are we going to do with this? So first, let's just say I wanted to span the whole screen. And now I'm going to also add a background to the splash. So you don't actually see the difference right now, but like if you inspect element, then you'll actually see the splash is now the full screen, but otherwise it just like be this little part. But anyway, so first thing, let's add a background image because otherwise it's kind of boring. In this case, I just want to do absolute imports, so I'm just going to put in here. Generally, you don't want to mix like using inline styles but yeah, I don't want to calculate the absolute or the relative import because I don't actually know it. So I'm just going to import the background. In this case, I happen to know that I want to use this pure.jpg that I basically ported over at the start, right? As a background from. And I'm just going to say style background image. Oh, style equals background image, and then URL background. And if you wanted to, and if you didn't want to like do this like mixed inline, then you basically just say background dash image URL, and then it'd be like, I think the relative path. Yeah. And so anyway, let's delete that. What does it look like right now? Oh, something seems wrong here. Let's see. Did I miss something? Good job, me. Oh, perhaps. Oh, I think this is actually. Oh, is there something in chat? Parentheses. Oh, yes. Thank you. I am kind of blind here. Oh, okay. There we go. We got something. Looks kind of weird though, right? Because we haven't finished styling it. So we're gonna say background position 50%. Basically, we're just gonna this is just gonna align our background. So once those three are done, we actually have it aligned. So once again, looks like this. Yeah. So let's move on. Now I want to say I don't know, margin 30 VH. So we're just going to have our actual stuff start like a bit further down. And I'm lazy, so I want to align things really fast. So I'm just going to put this in the flex box. Speaking of which, unfortunately, this website will not necessarily be responsive, which means it won't necessarily like transition well between like when you like view it on mobile. But yeah, so we're just going to do this really fast so we can like quickly center it. Oh wait, actually that was a mistake. Good job, me. Let's just wrap this in a div, I guess. Yeah, I think something you'll notice is this will try to be done relatively fast. So we're gonna wrap this in div, I don't know, call it content or something. Content, and then I'll select for content here. Put it here. And then we could probably just use padding instead, I think. And make it the top. Padding top, sure. Okay, there we go. So now we got like the name, like not too high up, and it's like not too low either. What else do I want to do? Well, let's say I want to make that name bigger, because this is like the really important thing, right? It's your name. You want to let people, you want to scream your name to everyone. Right. So name, text loop, and resume. Got it. So I'll select for name. I don't know. Let's make it really big. And yeah, make it white. I don't know. I feel like making it white. Cool. And oh, this is probably I see. H1 font size 6 rem. Because H1 does have like default styling, right? Okay, so now we got a nice big name there. We could probably actually just not bother wrapping it now that we've got content. So that could probably, yeah. As you can see, I clearly do not have a script because I have no idea what I'm doing here either. Yeah, let's do that. Or not. All right, give it name. Okay, cool. So we got that done now. Text loop I'll probably keep wrapped because, yeah. So in our text loop, let's say dot text loop, I don't know, font size. Let's make it like a bit smaller, but not too small. 4 rem sounds right. Okay, that seems okay. Make it thicker as well. I don't know, 600. And then what else? Oh, I think maybe it's a bit too close. So I'll just for some. This is maybe not the best practice, but I'm just going to add some margin here. You could probably just do like, probably actually better to do like line height or something. Let's just make it 6 rem. And so we got a bit more space in between them now. And now for our resume. Well, we want some more space between this as well, perhaps. I want this a bit further down, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna add some, actually, yeah, padding top. I don't know, 2rem. I guess that works. Yeah, sure. And I don't like how wide that looks for how tall it is. So I'm just gonna, I don't know. I'm just gonna shorten this to resume. Okay, in my opinion, that looks better. So I'm just gonna stick with that. Obviously, this is your own website. So like, if you don't want to, like, right, you can customize a lot from this, right? Because this is just a code, and you have full control over how you want to code and stuff. So this is just like an example of like how we might do it. So yeah. So we've got this general splash page now. What else do we want to do with it? Maybe we want a header, right? So I discussed that in the way that we're going to do this, we're going to have multiple sections. Maybe we want a header to make it easy to navigate between them. So we're going to make a header component now. Splash, you can say goodbye. And time to make a header. So once again, copy the template. And we're going to put the header in components because your header, you may want it, for example, across multiple pages. So perhaps in your header, if you wanted to, you could have like a link to the blog inside the header. And likewise, from the blog, you want to be able to go back to your main website from the header. So yeah, we're just going to make a header here. Rename header. Edit this. Header. All right. And yeah, let's get to this now. So what are we going to do inside our header? Well, I feel like I personally just want to do maybe some fancy stuff. So we're going to make it like dynamic when you scroll. So like if we go back to this thing, when you scroll, it does that special effect. You know, just something to make the recruiter think, wow, this isn't just like another completely generic website. Hopefully. So I'm just going to say we have a scroll threshold or something. So basically, once you pass the scroll threshold, we're going to do like that special effect. It has to be pixels, so we're going to say 48 pixels. That's equivalent, I believe, for rem, since our rem is probably 12-point size. Maybe it's 16 actually. But yeah. So I guess just we're going to fill out the general content of the header. So how are we going to make that like special effect in the first place, right? We'll probably have to do something about like a compressed or something. So we probably have something about like header compressed. We'll be filling out in a bit. But first, we just want to like put in the items. So what we're going to do inside our header, if we refer to our original thing, we have like these 4 themes: about me, experience, projects, contact. Let's just take that. Maybe we'll add like a blog as well. So let's just say we have const items equals, we're going to make an array of our items. So let's say I'm going to pass in the location, which is the path, the ID, which is going to be the ID that it's going to target, and then the text, which is what it's actually going to look like. So maybe something like this. Experience, text, experience. All right. And then we're going to say projects slash ID, projects, and text, projects. And yeah, actually, let's just stick with that since we're not going to be actually making the blog page. And basically what this is going to make it is that it's going to make it so that we can kind of easily just populate all of these. Oh, I forgot contact info. So in this case, they're all directing to the same page, which is just the base, which is why we're gonna, which is also in part what's going to make our, oh, not projects, contact, and contact. And so basically, what we're going to do here is we're just going to make, say, div class name equals items, and then we're just going to fill it in with our items over here. So we're going to map our items, items.map. So for each item, and let's say we're also going to have the index. So this is looping. Basically, this is our item. So this is going to be like about, or the about like map, and then I, and then the experience map or I equals 0, then experience map 1, and so on. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to make them all links. So generally, so React has its own link. Generally, you want to use the link component for any internal links, and then the regular anchor tag for external links. So we're just going to do an internal link. 2 equals. Well, this is why we have the item.location, and because they're all just linking to different parts of our base web page, we're going to go to the location, and I'm going to do a hash, and then we're going to go to the ID. On click, what will it do? It's going to scroll to it. So we're going to fill that in a bit. Or how are we going to? Oh, all right. On click equals. We're going to do something with some on click there, and inside, or what's the actual contents of this? It's going to be our item.text, right? So let's just first see if this works in general. Oh, we might also want to like put our header. I don't know, put our header at the top or something, or maybe in. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe put our header here. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm just gonna do like null, just some function. Does that work? Oh, joy. Oh, I think I need to import React. Oh, import React from React. That's actually standard. Oh, probably should have done that. I think it's a link is from React router DOM, I believe. So I think it's React router DOM. Oh well. Let's see if that works. Okay. Oh, and our map, we want to return that. So since it's a single thing, we're just going to do that. Right. And this is kind of redundant. Let's see how this goes. Oh joy. Type is invalid. Expected a string or a class function but got undefined. Likely forgot to export your component from the file it's defined in. Let's see. Oh yes. Okay, wait. We've imported the header. Import splash. Let's see. Where is this from? Let's see. Check the render method of header.
Did you export Splash?
Wait, what?
Did you export Splash in your? I mean, that shouldn't matter, but
Export default header. It should be. It should be importable. Maybe this. I remember using React Router DOM for this, but I don't know. Okay, so I guess that is the issue. Yeah, it's from React Router DOM. We've got our link. So at least now we see that like it's justly mapped. So like if I hover out, you can see like it directs to like about and then experience, product, contact. So you've got like a general shell here. Well, let's first kind of just then fill out what we're going to do with. So with onClick, we want it to scroll to that thing. Turns out there are some things we can do about that. So if we want to do a scroll, I'm first going to make a utility function. So we're going to say scroll to element with ID. And this is going to be a function. And it's going to take in an ID. And it's going to scroll there, basically. And so we can use the document select an element by ID, and then we're going to scroll that element into view, and we're going to pass in behavior smooth. Smooth. Now in this case, since we don't have those elements with those IDs yet, it won't actually do anything. But yeah, basically this is a way to scroll, and we want some other fancy stuff. So let's say, right, basically we're just going to fill out how we're going to make that like effect, right? So what else will we need? We will need use location. Yeah, and we're going to be using state, use state, and use effect. React. And so how are we going to do this? Well, first thing is const location equals use location. This is basically just going to get the location name. This is also why we want the location. So basically the idea is if we do have like a blog, and then we say click on about, we want to scroll to the about, even after we go to like a different path. So this is what we're using location for. And in particular, right, it's this particular case. So basically when location changes, basically if you go from like blog to, your main page, you want to properly scroll to the right location, right? So window.add event listener. We're going to listen to scrolls, and then we're going to do something called collapse. Or it's going to be like a function. And we're going to scroll to element with ID of location.hash.slice1, right? So, right, basically this will link here. So basically we're going to scroll to whatever this value is. Now in general, we want to add in a scroll listener. And right, we're going to do something with that. And we're just going to, in this case, we just want to add it at the start. So we're going to pass in empty dependency array. So what's collapse actually going to be then? So we want to check if we're scrolled or not. So we're going to use state to check for scrolled. Use state. By default, I'm going to assume we're not scrolled. But we're going to say, we're going to finally add in collapse here. So collapse is a function. And what's it going to do? Basically, in general, just going to say, it's going to control scrolled. So window.page y offset. So basically, we're going to check how much the window has been scrolled down. And if it's past scroll threshold, then we're going to say that we're scrolled. Or equals. Good job, me. Keep on doing this. And scrolled is assigned a value but not used. And this is kind of where we're going to leverage scrolled now. So we're going to go back down here. And so if it's scrolled, we're going to add in something else. So we're going to wrap this, and we're basically going to say header, and then, I don't know, scrolled. Then we're going to say, we're going to add in, let's just add the space here first, actually. Header, I don't know, header compressed. Otherwise, nothing else. So basically, if we've scrolled, then we're also going to have the class header compressed assigned to this. And we can also do the onClick now. So what we're going to do is basically onClick, we're just going to scroll to that element, right? So we just made our scroll to element with ID, and we're just going to say item.id. We have to pass in a function with no arguments, because otherwise, if we just pass in this is like this just doesn't work. We have to pass in a function. So onClick, we're going to pass in a function, and that function is going to do is just call this function with this argument. Yeah, and we passed in I for a reason. It's so we can do I. Key equals I, because generally we want to reload. Oh no. Use context. Const location equals use location. Good job, me. Let's see. Am I doing anything wrong with location here? Location equals use location. Let's see. What is wrong? Might be breaking the rules of hooks. Let's see. Good job, me. We don't necessarily need this, so if it takes too long, then I'll probably just leave that part since it's quality of life, and we're not actually adding any other routes for this workshop. But what is wrong with this? I do not actually know. So okay, this can happen for a variety of reasons. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to delete this for now then. Let's just comment it out for now. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. Guess there's something wrong with location. This is kind of ugly though. Let's style this. So yeah, let's go to styling our header then. So header, we want the header to be at the top, right? So in order to do this, I'm just going to say position fixed, and it's going to be stuck to the top. Width on 100%. I'm going to give it some padding so it's never like squashed against the edges. And then we're going to add a transition. So this transition is just going to make it so that the transition between like that or this thing into that thing is smooth. You can pick any function you want. You could just do like something like ease out. I like using this cubic bezier one all the time because I don't know. So I'm just going to use that one. I don't know. How does this look? Okay, so that's like the padding at work. I don't want it to be padding too much from the top. So, yeah, let's just do this for now. So it's going to have that padding. Yeah, sure. Basically, I'm just going to put the items in the center anyway, right? So we have the items nested inside. So items is going to be, let's say I just, I don't want it too wide. So I'll make it 76. And at the center, I'm just going to do margin 0 auto. And it's going to kind of center. Then we're going to display flex, align item center, and justify content, I don't know, space between. And this is, so now this is basically going to make them space as far apart as possible. And this entire part is maximum width 768 pixels. Yeah, so now what? Well, I don't like how those links are formatted. To try to kind of maybe stay consistent with the rest of these, I'm going to make the make them white. I don't know. Text decoration none. Get rid of that like underline colon. Thank you. Make it a bit bigger, I guess. I don't know. Font size 2 gram. Maybe that's a bit big. I don't know. 1.75. I don't know. Yeah, sure. That works. Cool. And then when we hover over it, what do we want to do? Perhaps we can do the same thing as before with hover over the button and just say like, I don't know, opacity 0.8. So how does this look? Okay, not the worst. We could add the transition as well to make it if we want it like, but honestly, I don't think it matters too much. Oh no, what happened here? Guess not. Oh, is there chat? Oh, good job, me. Wow. You're a lot more attentive than me in coding in any case. I don't know what else to say. Okay, so yeah. You can't really see the difference, I guess. Now there's a gradual because like a 0.2 opacity difference, but I don't know. We can make it bigger, I guess. So if I like font size 2 gram, then you can see a gradual increase in size. And like because of the flex box, they kind of move along, which is, you could say is cool. You can say it's an intended feature. If someone else says that you have no idea what you're doing, you can say that that's totally intended. Yeah. So now we got this thing. What if I want to see this scroll? I don't know. So in our home, let's just, I don't know, add in temporarily in home. I'm going to say add in div class name equals, I don't know, filler. I'm just going to add in a filler page here and then like dot filler height 100 VH just so that we have something more to see. So now if we scroll, oh, okay, guess it's not working. Let's see. So let's go back to our header then, because probably something was here. Scrolled. All right, we haven't done the actual dot header compress. We still need to do that. So we're going to cut down on the padding. So instead of 3 rem, I'm going to have the padding. Background color, I'm going to make it like RGBA and then say black and then 0.8. So it's like that. And then I'm going to add in a filter as well. Let's say 6 pixels or blur. not blue. What does this look like? Okay, yeah. Yay. And I don't know. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. So I don't know. 1.5 rem, and then make the hover 1.75 rem, which is what it was before. So let's see. Hover versus this hover. Yeah, you can see, at least you can see there's a difference in the size of this one and the unscrolled. So yeah, we got something now. Cool. So now we've got a working header, we've got a working splash page. Honestly, some people you could probably just work with something like this. Although like maybe just like with the contact form or something. I don't know. Yeah, so we've got our header now and we've got a splash page. What's next? Well, I'm kind of lazy and it's been like an hour, so we're gonna make like just a generic section. I'm probably gonna put it in the home because it's probably not the most applicable to everything or to every page. So I'm just gonna paste here, make another thing, say section. I'm just gonna call it section at least. Replace template with section. And what the section is going to be is it's going to be, so like, remember that our splash was like 100 VH and like our filler div right now is 100 VH. We're just going to say the section is always going to be at least a full screen size. And then we're going to give it like a title and we're going to do, yeah. So we're just going to say section. I don't know, make it lowercase. And we're going to, basically the idea is this section will be associated with an about me, experience, projects, and contact section. Well, so we can pass those in actually, say props.id. So it's going to be a section with that ID. And once we have this ID, that basically means we can scroll to it, right? So so basically each of these sections should be scrollable because they should correspond to each of these header items. What's it going to be inside the section? Well, we're going to have a heading. Honestly, it's probably not the best case to use H1. Generally, use like one use. You should limit like your H1 to maybe like one use of it in the entire page, but oh well. Underline, and then we're going to say the heading. So we're going to pass in props, which includes an ID and heading. I could honestly probably destructure them. That'd probably be better, but oh well. And then we're going to have the actual stuff inside it. So then we're going to have a div class name equals I don't know, props.class name. So we have some more consistent syntax, I guess. And then we're going to pass in the children here. And that's it. So I don't know. Let's just do a yeah, say goodbye to filler because now we're adding a section. So we're going to put a section instead. Of course, we need to style the section. So like I said, the section we want it to be at least a full screen size. So this way we still have our wonderful empty section. What else do we want from the section? Well, so we used H1, which says we want something like pretty big, right? So let's say H1, I don't know, font size, make it bigger a bit, I guess. And then as for our actual section, I don't know, give it some margin so that we don't have stuff like pressed against the sides of the thing. And otherwise, I'm lazy, so in order to do this, I'm just gonna once again just use a flex box. This is probably not the best practice, but just stick with this. And yeah, what does this look like? Right, I need to pass in something. Let's just say heading equals hello. What does this look like? Okay, I don't want it pressed against so much, so I don't know. And I also want like some space between this and the content, right? Let's just say we're going to add 6 rem of top-down content around it. So yeah, now we've got a section. It's called hello. Of course, we're gonna have our actual section for about me, experience, projects, and contact. So let's fill that out now then, I guess. So let's start with about me, right? we've started from our splash page. Now we should probably transition to an about me. I personally have a preference for breaking down things like probably too much. Generally, you don't want to do component structure, but I don't know, bad habits of me, I guess. So I'm just gonna, under home, just make another, and I'm gonna call this about. Now do note, my preferences are not necessarily the best practice. I don't think React actually has any recommendations or like supposedly the correct way. So take that as you will. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's an about, and in this about, we're just going to make it a section, right? So I'm just going to say section, section class name equals about, and then we need to pass in the ID and heading. So ID equals about, and then heading equals about me. I could honestly probably make this more efficient by storing the data somewhere and then having both our header and the seconds read from that, and that'd probably be better practice as well. But you know, oh well. And this about me. Well, everyone needs an image of themselves, so we're gonna do that here. I don't know. I probably don't need to wrap this in a div, but oh well. I'll figure it out. And then alt equals me. I don't know, PFP. You always want an alt on your image. You probably shouldn't use a very lazy alt like I do, but oh well. And incidentally, I do know which one I want to use. So inside here, I believe there's like a, oh, there is not. Okay. Well, the image I'm going to use is Geisel. So body type section. So I'm going to say import, I don't know, PFP from assets Geisel.jpg, because part of this is scripted, even though a lot of it isn't. All right, so let's reload. All right, we need to make it about inside our home. So this is here. We're going to replace section with about. Oh joy. Oh, thank you for the auto imports. Section is not defined. Where is this? Damn it, same. Home about. Oh, I need to import section in there. Lovely. Oh, also generally you want like your other imports before the CSS or like your, but oh well. Where am I? Okay. Import section from /section, right? This should be in the same place, I think. Can't resolve section or dot. Okay, yeah. Okay. Woo, got an image, but it's really huge. We'll need to deal with that. So actually, let's just first style that because it's kind of in the way. I don't know, dot about, we're gonna have stuff in there. Dot image. In our about, quick preview will be, you can tell I use Flexbox too much, but oh well. I don't know, image, we're gonna make it 50%. And then the actual image, I don't know, let's, this is not the best practice, quick disclaimer, because it is not responsive, but it works fine for desktop and we're trying to do this fast. Border radius 50%, and then I don't know, object fit cover. Please. Guess not. About image. Well then. Let's try. Oh well. I guess let's just first work on the other part then. Equals text. We're gonna have text here. What's going to be in it? I don't know yet. Let's say we have everyone has I don't know. Hi. Insert name here. No, not header. Okay. Probably the giant image in the way, but okay, yeah, it's like down there. Yeah. And then I don't know, P. And we're gonna say, I don't know, lorem ipsum dolores. I don't know. We'll fill that out sometime, or you can fill it out in your own time for whatever you want to write there. There should be plenty of space. So how are we gonna do this? Display flex, align item center. Sure, that works. Class name. Oh, this is why. Okay, there we go. Let's say and gap, I don't know, 3rem, so it's not like pressed against it. Okay, so that's a bit better. Let's format the text a bit. So I don't know, about text. What do we have here? We have an H2. Maybe let's make this, I don't know, 5rem. 4rem, I don't know. Font size, I don't know, 3rem, something like this. Maybe, sure. Okay, and I guess just I'm gonna fill in this with more time. I think I can do like, I don't remember. I'm not very good at JS, honestly. I don't know the syntax the best. All right. I think there's like a string repeat function. Okay, yeah. Let's just repeat this 10 times. Okay, sure, that works. So we've got something here. Maybe we want this at the top, in which we could do that, but in which we could probably just like remove the align item center, but oh well. Yeah, so that's that, I guess. Yeah, let's just say that works for about me. What's next in our about me? What's next? Experience. So we're gonna make experience is going to be very similar to the general structure of about me. So honestly, I'm just going to copy this because that way I don't need to like do the section importing the stuff again. Experience. H or Control H. Place about with experience. About experience headings equals experience. No, not experience me. I don't need this PFP probably. You know, I'll probably just use the template again later. So what are we going to do in experience? So generally you want, I don't know, something like the company logo or like and the name, and then maybe like what you were doing there, when it was, and maybe the quick description of what it was or what you did there, right? So once again, we're just going to make some items and we're going to do the mapping. So it makes it a lot easier to edit later. What's it going to be? Let's say, so we know we want a company image or logo. Something. We're going to say title, and then I don't know, subtitle, which is going to be like the like the when it was and like your position, and then the text or description. That's just going to be our general layout. Just as an example, we're going to use, say, Google. So I'm going to import Google from assets google.png. I believe that's the path. Yes, it is. Okay. And so let's say the image is going to be Google. Title is, I don't know, Google Inc. I don't know. Let's just say Google. Everyone knows Google. Subtitle, level 11 CEO. And you were the CEO from 1900 to 1950, because Google is definitely around there. And text, I grew Google into the internet giant it is today, from its miserly origins as, I don't know, meat packing company. Sure. We need add experience. Well, it's not styled yet anyway. But yeah, so we'll just be basically their experience sections will be put in here. And once again, we'll just be doing a map in order to do this stuff. So this will be items.map, item I, and then what's it going to be? That is a good point. How are we going to do this? So perhaps we're going to do a div, I don't know, entry, something like this. And then how are we going to do this? So we have an image, and then we have, this actually looks somewhat familiar. You know, maybe I should have made a component. I don't know. Anyway, so let's see. The image, we're going to make an image source equals item.image. All, I don't know. Maybe I should pass it in as in here, but whatever. I don't know. IDK. That can be filled out later, I guess. And then text. Let's say h1 title, items title, h2 probably. We don't want to use too much h1. And then h3 items.subtitle. And then say our paragraph with our text. So this would be like, yeah, items.text. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Yeah, that sounds good. So now we just need to format this. So it seems like most of the stuff that we'll need to format is, well, we'll need to format the entry, but then, most of the format will just be in regards to entries, right? So I'll just need to worry about that. And how are we going to do this? Yeah, first let's add it into our home. Experience. Okay, so that's our experience section, and you'll notice this thing is always at least one full screen width. Yeah, so let's go from here. How's this going to be styled? About, yes, this is another issue. Okay, so we're gonna experience. Let's say, so it's going to mostly just be entries. How are we going to do this? Too much flexbox, I guess, but justify content center and flex wrap item. Yeah, that's good. And we're gonna say image and description. I don't know. Let's just say basically let's just say we want them to be 20 rem each. Array pro.map. Once again. Okay, so we got some text there, I guess. Text is not showing up yet, but let's see. What do we want to do here? Right, so our actual image, I don't know, max width, 100% of the, I don't know, actually. Let's just, it's be working for now. Where's the text though? Let's see. So experience, items.map, entry, the image, and then the text, and item, not items. That's all. So if we do this, then it should show up. Okay, yeah, there we go. I don't know. We're gonna make them equal. I don't know. Just different ways to approach things, I guess. Yeah, actually, just make it 20 rem. We could actually let's just no. I don't want them equal size, so let's just work with this. Oh, I mistyped description, but oh well. Maybe add a gap, 3 rem. I don't know. Okay. And inside our description, that seems kind of small, so we're gonna scale that up a bit. Let's see, dot description. It's text, right? I forgot what I called it. Okay, text. Dot text. What do we have in here? H2, H3, and P. So H2, H3, and paragraph. Let's say H2, we're gonna make it, I don't know, font size 3 rem. Yeah, font weight, I don't know, 600 or 700. Make it a bit thicker. Yeah. H3, I don't know, font size 2 rem. How does that look? Okay, and I'm gonna make it gray so it doesn't take too much attention. Yeah, sure. And then paragraph, that looks fine, I guess. We might want to increase the line height because they seem kind of compressed. So I don't know, I'll make this 3 rem or something. Yeah, make this one 4 rem or something. Also, not very good practice having these like in different order. Generally, you want like some logic at least, so it's easier to decipher your CSS later, but oh well. Okay, so we have something here. Honestly looks kind of weird. So seems like there's kind of a large gap. Let's try this again. Okay, could do actually let's say 50%. And we can make this basically to format the image, we can height auto object fit cover, and it should like fit this container. Okay, so yeah, the image is now like no longer just pressed against that, which makes it look a little better. Let's just say this works for now. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that works, I guess. Text, this works fine, I guess. And then if we can like add another entry, and then let's try adding another entry and see how it looks. Whistly. So we're gonna import Whistly here. Speaking of which, you all should check out Whistly. It's got a very I think the CEO is, or one of the co-founders is really cool. His name's Stanley Lee. Yeah, really cool guy. Anyway, okay, so that's kind of maybe we want to add some margin. I don't know, in our entries. We could add some margin or padding. Yeah, I'll add some, like, I don't know, 3, 6 rem, probably. Okay. And okay, yeah, sure, that works. I wanted, now that logo is kind of small. Maybe I'll add a minimum width to this. So I'd say like min width, I don't know, 20 rem. Hey, sure, that works. Once again, this isn't necessarily the best because it's not responsive, but yeah. So we have like Whistly, title, Whistly, subtitle, I don't know, senior software engineer, I don't know, 2020 to 2022. Sure. Text, I built the entire backend infrastructure for Whistly. And I don't know. We don't need to put too much here. Okay, yeah. So this is our experience section. So we've got about me and experience. Actually, let's just try this. So yeah, that's our scrolling, by the way. Now that we've actually populated with it. So what's left is like projects and contact. Okay, yeah. So let's get rid of this. Okay, for projects, I'm feeling kind of lazy. It's like 6:40 already. So we're going to basically rip off experience, except modify it very slightly. So I'm just going to straight up copy experience here. And I'm just going to make like minor changes. So projects, rename experience projects, experience projects, the up ID, because yeah. And basically I'm just going to add in like, I don't know, at the bottom of each entry, I'm just going to, or each text, I'm just going to add in like a button. Right. I don't know what it's going to say yet. So, oh joy. Well, first let's see. Button. How am I going to format this? I guess, or what's going to be inside it? So I guess like href. I'm going to add a link here, I guess, in projects. Why does this say experience anyway? Oh wait, am I in the wrong one? Ah, yes, I am in the wrong one. That is a slight error. Okay, so that's experience factor and projects. I just need to replace experience with projects. All right, projects is not rendered yet. So, okay, there we go. All right. I don't like Zoom at all. I'm sorry, everyone. Yeah, projects, we're basically just gonna add in a button. I don't know, href equals item.link. I don't know. So we're gonna add a link here. Link, google.com, and then, I don't know, link, I don't know, github.com. I do not have enough time to think about this right now. Oh, comma, good job. So, let's, button. And let's just say it's going to be a generic button that says, check it out. So, right, go back to our, say goodbye to experience, go back to our home and add in projects. And now we have projects. Okay, looks like we screwed something up, but does this work? If I click on this, yes, it goes to google.com. So something's working at least. Yay. Okay, so let's fix this. Maybe we can expect element to kind of show how we can test this out. Yeah, sure. So image and then text. Okay, so image is we got something wrong here. What is going on here? Oh, I think yeah. So back to debugging, I guess. How are we going to do this? Well, we can where's projects and in projects and that. Okay, yeah. So there we go. We could we should always try to change this, but yeah. I don't like how close the button is. So yeah, maybe I'll add some padding to that. I never actually did anything in the paragraph, incidentally. Button, I don't know, class name equals button. Make it full thing actually. And so then we can select for button and then, I don't know, margin top 1 rem, something like that. That's probably not enough, but it's doable. So yeah, so now what do we have now? We have about me, experience, and projects, and we can click on this and it'll go to whichever one it is. Excellent. Last one is contact. Contact is probably relatively straightforward, similar to the splash page. Still going to use a section because I just want to, let's try to make this go faster. So we're going to rename this contact. Oh wait, I did not want to copy section. Let's copy template. Good job, me. Paste this in, rename to contact. Place template with contact. And we probably want to do like the section again. So section and very nice imports. ID equals contact, and say heading equals contact. Excellent. And we're going to put our contact stuff in here. So what are we going to do? We're going to have like a whole bunch of like little icons, and they're going to link to the thing. Now, in practice, you probably you could probably just use Font Awesome. It's a very popular it's a popular set of icons, and like they provide brand icons, for example, and you can use those. But we're trying to minimize the number of libraries used here to like build stuff from scratch. So we're just going to be using images that I took from the internet. I do not necessarily have a license for them. So yeah, but anyway, what contact stuff do we want? Well, we want, at the very least, you always want your email and GitHub, like at the very least, and probably LinkedIn as well. So we're just going to use those three, I guess. So assets email.png, I think. I think they're all PNGs. Yeah, I don't remember. GitHub from assets github.png, and then import LinkedIn from assets linkedin.png, something like that. So these are images. Once again, we're going to be using items because that makes it easier. So const items equals say source or source email, or like image email, I don't know, alt. So we're gonna try to make things better here and add in an alt. href email, we're just going to do it in mail too. So this would be your email. So let's just say example@mail.com. I do not want to share mine. Then say source GitHub, alt GitHub, href github.com/your username. And last one we'll do is LinkedIn. So source LinkedIn. No, LinkedIn. Thank you. Alt LinkedIn href linkedin.com. I think it's like /in and then /your LinkedIn username. And yeah, so that's our items. And these images these are images with links, right? So I'm just going to make a actually, yeah, I'll just do it directly in there. So we're going to do I don't know, first maybe say contact me through any of these mediums. Sure, set some text, and then we're going to have our div of contact info. I don't know, something like that. And then this is where we're going to, once again, items.map, each item and index. And we're going to say an image with a link. So generally that is done by wrapping the image with a link. The href equals item.href. Target, once again, target equals blank, not lbank, blank. Rel equals no opener, no refer. Image source equals item.source. Alt is equal to item.alt. And class name equals, I don't know, I'm just going to say it's an icon. And let's add that to our home. Yay. Okay, so we got that, and we got our contact me through any of these mediums. That looks kind of small, so I'm just going to make that a bit bigger first. So class name contact, and then contact info, or h2 dot contact h2, and then we're going to have dot contact info. So h2, I don't know, font size 3 rem. Okay, that works. Maybe a bit too big, but oh well. And then contact info, how are you going to do this? And also where's my stuff? Let's see. Items.map, item.source. Let's see. Inspect. What's inside our contact here? Contact div, class name equals contact info, and nothing. Why is that? Let's see. Items.map, item I. Well, I guess maybe it's something about formatting or dot contact and then dot contact info, right? Yeah. Let's I guess in the mail I'll just first import email from email.png, github.png, linkedin.png. Okay, so those are valid. Let's see. Let's try items.map, not item space.map. Is that the issue? Yes or no? Clearly not. Oh yes, it strikes again. In case, maybe I should explain what the issue is. Basically, when you have this arrow, if you just do braces, then it's just going to be like, this is what you do in the function. If you just do parentheses, then it's one line or like one thing. In this case, it's one JSX element in which it has nested ones, and it returns that one thing. So that's why. Yeah, now they should show up. A little big though, so we're going to fix that with styling. So inside contact info, we're going to do some styling here. Let's say we're going to, once again, flex box because I like it too much. Center, justify content, space between. So this is just going to be, once again, just spacing apart our contact info. What does this look like? Okay. And that thing went off. All right, what? Okay. And yeah, let's say text line center. So that's slightly better. Contact info, let's say, just make each of these height 4 rem with 4 rem, something like that. Border radius 50%. So they're going to be circular icons. How does this look? Okay, and maybe we shouldn't do space between. So we'll just leave that out. But I don't know. Just center them, I guess. Center and then gap, I don't know, 2 rem, which is like half the size. They do look different size. That's probably just because of the PNGs I picked. So like, let's say I add, I don't know, 2 picks. Let's just do a border, solid border. 2 picks, solid gray. Okay, yeah. So they're the same size. It's just the actual things taken, or like the actual items taken, aren't exactly the best, or like images taken are the best. Maybe I want like some space between it and the upper one, so we could, I don't know, we can increase the line height of the H2, or we could like, I don't know, let's just say margin top 3 rem or something. Okay, cool. And so yeah, with that we now have, I guess, yeah, we have a nice functioning app. Okay, yeah, so it all works, and this is like email. Cool. And so with that, we now have a wonderful function. Your username. Guess this person is an actual person. We have a functioning personal website where we can easily adjust it at any time. We can easily extend to it. We can like easily just add another item, and then we don't actually need to change the HTML or the actual like HTML components as much. We can just mostly just like work with adding or changing items inside our item arrays inside our components, and then they'll instantly reflect inside our website. And so now that we've got like this website, it's working well enough, I guess. Yeah, everything links and stuff. We want to deploy this to GitHub Pages now. Guess there's only one person, but thank you. Yeah, so to deploy this into GitHub Pages, there are just a few things to do. First one, inside package.json, we need to add something here. So basically we need to add a home page, and then it's your username. So my username.github.io, whatever your username is. So that's what you'll need to add to package.json. And also in package.json, there's this part that says scripts. You'll also need to add in basically pre-deploy to do npm run build, and then deploy, not deploy, to run gh-pages-b master-d build. Why is this extra tab? Okay, yeah. So those are changes you'll need to make to package.json. And once you have that done, then you should be able to run. Oh, I should actually make this public because actually it should be fine, I guess. Then you can run npm run deploy, and basically with npm scripts, if it has pre in front of it, it'll do that before actually just doing the thing like by default. So basically it's going to run npm run build, and that's going to do gh-pages-b master-d build, which is basically deploy to GitHub Pages. Master is going to be the branch that's going to be reflected on the actual website. Yeah. Oops. Failed at the personal website deploy script. Did I not? GH Pages is not recognized. Okay, good job, me. I think I did not install GitHub Pages in the starter code, which is an issue. I probably should have checked that. So I believe it's just npm install gh pages, and then it should work. Yeah, let's hope that's all there is to it. And then let's try npm run deploy again. Yeah, so hopefully the only issue is I forgot to do npm installed. Okay, so okay, it looks like it's working. Yeah, so we'll also need to run. I'll put it in the chat. I guess it's only you, but yeah, we'd also need to write npm install gh pages. And yeah, it says it's published. Now the repository I made is private, so it wouldn't actually be. Like we can see that's been pushed now, so that's cool. If I make it not private, we can maybe see it. So let's just change the visibility. Make this public. Temporarily. Oh joy. Yeah, and hopefully, enable master. GitHub Pages source saved, and then it should, okay, yeah. So it might take like a minute or two for it to actually update. So we'll need to see if it has come to fruition. In the meantime, just a quick note for anybody who wants to like try this on their own from the start with create act app. Something to notice is that in like the base index.jsx file, oftentimes you'll see people just use browser router as router or something like that. Because of how GitHub Pages works, if you reload and you just use regular router, it'll get a 404. So we use hash router. It basically like, yeah, does something with the location. So you're able to actually reload the GitHub pages page, and it won't like just absolutely fail. If you want to see an example of one such issue with, or one such app with that issue, you can hold up, let me find it. I have a friend who has one up there. You can go to acm leetcode tracker.netlify.app. For example, this is just one of those create reactive. If you reload, or I think it's question checker, because it actually has something. If you reload, yeah, it just breaks. Yeah, so I guess not just GitHub pages, but yeah, so that's an issue with router, which is why we're using browser router here, or hash router here. Yeah, and hopefully this has no. Oh joy. XD. Well then, let's see. Master. Okay, is it because very interesting. XD. Yeah. I mean, this should work, but I guess not. XT. So, did I miss anything? Pretty sure. Oh, that's just because I did my username. So I'm gonna do I think that's all it is. Yeah, 2 hours for a 404. Excellent use of time. I mean, it should work now. I think the issue is just the home page. Hopefully, we'll have to wait probably like a minute for the optimized production build though, and then like another minute or two for it to actually update. So some more waiting, I guess, but it's published. Let's see what GitHub Pages has to say. Is it actually published now? It's probably still waiting because it usually takes a little while. In the meantime, let's make sure it updated. Yeah. T. Hello. It did run, right? Okay. So I guess we're just gonna wait here and hopefully it works this time. Did it not? I'd assume it'd have. Let's see. File sizes I could use it. Settings. I just thought it'd have updates over here because very interesting.
Did you push the last change? It says it was still 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. I figured just running npm run deploy would work, but otherwise, I don't know. Oh, git push dash u origin head. Let's push it first and then push it and then see what happens. And then npm run deploy. I feel like it's running the same thing, or because it didn't see any changes in the actual files. You know, let's just first remove these unused things. So header index.js. Let's delete that use location because I'm bad and it ended up not working. What else? Section is not used in home because that was like a sample, then we removed it. So delete that. Let's try it again. Assuming no changes were made. Okay, yeah, no changes have been made. All right. Like I'm pretty sure the only issue is this, but I don't know. That does not. Okay, so we got updates now. Okay, there we go. And so ideally, this thing will update to saying that's ready to be published, and once it is published, then it will work. And there we go. Thank you. Yeah. So now okay, there we go. We got some basic, yeah, woo. Or as one person puts it, you can show recruiters you know that the behavior scroll function exists in CSS. Very cool. But yes, we got a basic personal website now. It's highly configurable. You can easily add stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's it for the workshop then.